Hello everyone, it's Jill and Rich here, and I'm coming to you with a roster video. A roster for what you say? Well, it's actually for the Intercession Kill Team, the rules for which dropped for free on the Warhammer community page. I was completely surprised by this because whenever I was just browsing like the different social medias, Facebook and all that, they talked about the free rules for the game. The core game, right? Just a little get you by rules for if you want to try it out, and you know, maybe you'll be convinced to actually buy Kill Team eventually. It was only whenever I went onto the actual Warhammer community page itself that I saw that there was the Intercession Kill Team as well, and I was like, oh, okay, because people have been talking about us potentially getting a Intercessor Kill Team for, I mean, ages ago, right? Ages ago, and it got to the point where we saw no sight nor sound of it, neither sight nor sound of it. I thought it was just an urban myth, I suppose we'll just call it that. Because, like I say, there'd been a bunch of like white dwarfs which had come out like since that rumor had first come up, and the only Kill Team content we were getting was just stuff, no actual kill teams. I think what was the actual last kill team that actually did the rules for in White Dwarf? Was it the Harlequins? I feel like it was. I can't remember. I'm probably right there. Anyway, so yeah, back on the subject. So obviously the rules only dropped today, so no one knows the whole ins and outs of stuff. All we can go off with is our own personal, first glance views of things. And my personal first glance views were, hey, I can actually do a 20-man kill team roster from only two different types of Marine, which, like, you've seen my Phobos roster, right? And even then, I screwed up in the making of that. Now, this one, I've made sure I've worked out all the kinks before I start recording, okay? This should go off without a hitch. There'll be no corrections in the comments, I hope. Alright, so with that in mind, let's crack on with the actual roster itself, right? So, first operative I've got on my roster is the Assault Intercessor Grenadier. Why? Because of alphabetical order. Plus, he's the guy you're probably going to have in every single kill team because of the grenade nerf. He's your guy who gets you your one of each type of grenade, but without having to pay a single equipment point for it. Job is good, right? Plus, he can also hack stuff up in melee as well. At least I hope so. I didn't actually, like I say, it's first glance, so I didn't even look to see if he even comes with a chainsaw. I assume he does, even though the model's more got the grenades, but he's got a chainsaw on his belt, right? Surely that should come in handy, and that should be used in the game. I'd assume so. Anyway, so we got the Assault. Okay, so I've got 3 different Assault Intercessor Sergeants. At first I was going to go with 2 of each of the different types of sergeants in my roster. But after a little bit of humming and hawing, I thought, well, there's really no reason to go for any other Intercessor Sergeant beyond the one which I'll get to in a bit. In the meantime, let's go through the different Assault Intercessor Sergeants which I've got on my roster. We've got the Assault Intercessor Sergeant with Hand Flamer and Power Fist. Now, he's basically the sort of guy I take against guard equivalents. Hand Flamer, so I can, spread the hot love, and like your Power Fist to One Punch Man any of, again, the 7 Moon models. Hopefully, if I get any crits. So pretty straightforward what he's for, okay? Assault Intercessor Sergeant with Heavy Bolt Pistol and Thunderhammer. He's kind of there just because I was hurting for what to replace the second Intercessor Sergeant with. So I thought, well, I'll just give him like options I haven't given the other guys. A Heavy Bolt Pistol because just there. And the Thunder Hammer because I guess I like melee stun at times. The whole potential to do one crit hit as well as parry a normal at the same time it can come in handy, I guess. I don't know what I'd use him against. He'd probably just never show up in any games, but I'll probably think of some use for him at some point. And then you got the Assault Intercessor Sergeant with Plasma Pistol and Chainsword because that's the only way you can get a Plasma Pistol. Pretty self-explanatory. You're going to take him against whatever you take Plasma against, which is most Marine types or anything with a high armor save, basically. Then I've got 4 Assault Intercessor Warriors, right? So obviously, this means that if I want to just run a full Assault Intercessor Kill Team, I can take one of my Assault Intercessor Sergeants, my Grenadier, and my 4 Warriors, and that's my team, right? So we've got 8 operatives from the 20-man roster done so far, okay? So the 9th fella is an Intercessor Gunner, with auto bolt rifle, and obviously he's got his auxiliary grenade launcher as well, right? And then you got the 2nd gunner, but he's got a bolt rifle. Now, originally whenever I was just like bashing out operatives, I wanted to have 4 of each type of Intercessor Warrior, with, you know, each of the gun rifle options, so that's obviously 12 intercessors, right? And then Nomad basically brought up that no one's going to run not many people are going to run all stalkers, and I thought to myself, yeah, why am I even thinking of that? Like, why would I take a whole team of heavy rated, heavy special rule bolt rifles where the only benefit is AP -1. It's kind of like, yeah, that was a bit of a silly idea, you know. So that's when I actually started thinking about the roster, and I also thought to myself, well, I don't really want there to be an Intercessor Gunner with a Stalker either, because as you may have noticed in the rules for the Intercessors, they get Bolter Discipline by default. Fucking yes. Now, this basically means that I can, with a gunner, because of the way it's written, right, at least one of the 2 shooting attacks, right, has to be, shoot actions rather, has to be with a bolt weapon, at least one. Not both, at least one. So I could, with a gunner, obviously fire off their auxiliary grenade launcher, and then fire off a shot from whatever bolt weapon that they have, or vice versa, right? And that's just great. It's better if you have more maneuverability. If you're taking a Stalker bolt rifle, the only thing you'd be able to do is dash and do this and then do that in terms of just 2 shooting actions. I'd rather be able to move and do this and do that, or to pop and then have a pretty good amount of movement in order to get behind something, you know, if of course I start in a place where I can pop and then move after the pop. I'm going to stop here. So I'm going to stop saying pop now. So that's the 2 gunners. That's 9 and 10. Done. Right. So then we get to 11th Operative, which is an Intercessor Sergeant, the one and only, with auto bolt rifle and power weapon. I mean, I don't like to be one of those guys that says you're never going to take anything, blah, 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 else, blah, 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 blah. But like, okay, think about it this way. Auto bolt rifle, you got Ceaseless. If I'm not mistaken, that is re-rolling your ones. Now, he has the 2+ ballistic skill, if I'm not mistaken. So essentially, on the only miss that you're going to get, until of course penalties are factored in, he's getting rerolls, okay? And your power weapon is self-explanatory. I mean, it's a power weapon. So, Intercessor Warrior with auto bolt rifle, and we've got this 4 times. So obviously if I want to run a full auto bolt rifle kill team, you've got those 4 warriors, you got your gunner, and you got your sergeant. A very self-explanatory kill team right there, okay? Or I could do a mix. It doesn't matter. Either way, I got a 20-man roster with options. I love it. Options. That's why I love rosters. That's why I love making roster videos, because I'm a man who likes options. I like to be able to just take stuff for certain scenarios. That's why, I guess that's why you guys like the roster videos. I've noticed, like, that's one of the things I get most views on for some reason, is my roster videos, even though they're just me talking a bunch of crap. But yeah, anyway, so Intercessor Warrior with bolt rifle, again, 4 times. I mean, eventually we're going to get to the true meat of this roster, because I'm not doing a full Tactica video. Like I say, it's just more of a my personal taste sort of thing. But now that we've got to 19 operatives, after I've done those 4 auto bolt rifle guys and the 4 bolt rifle guys, right, we get to the guy who's going to be my only Stalker bolt rifle, okay? And here's a reason why he's going to be my only one. Because only one of them will be effective, as it were. I am pretty sure I had opened Google Chrome a while ago, so I can actually have this up on my laptop while I'm doing this video. But apparently it didn't open, so now we're going to have to sit here and listen to me talking crap until it does open, and I can get to the Warhammer community page, because I can't do that crap on my phone right now, because that's what I'm recording with. Yay. So, anyway, but yeah, from what I can vaguely remember, there's 2 bits of equipment which I'm definitely going to be taking, in combination with a chapter trait, which will make the Stalker bolt rifle, this one Stalker bolt rifle, a nice option. And also I'll go through the rhyme and reason as to why I'll choose this particular chapter trait as well. I wanted to go with something, I think it's something like Sharpshooters or something. It's one of the thingy and iron traits. We'll get there eventually. It's coming. It's coming. Yeah, it's the one which basically allows you to take -1 from your critical damage on bolt weapons, right? Can anyone see where I'm going with this? And then you give it the Mortal Wounds 1 trait. Now, I want this to be the first thing that I choose for the particular chapter trait that I'm going for, right? Because I'm sure you've guessed by now, I'm going to make these guys a Death Watch, because back when I bought Prior Nexus like a mug, I saw all these rules and all this tasty stuff that you could do to make Death Watch awesome. That's why I bought Space Marine boxes. I bought so many Space Marine boxes. Well, I spent so much money on Space Marine boxes. It wasn't a shitload. It was just, I was buying like 1 of each potential kill team use box. There's a bunch of them now which are now obsolete. But you know what we got here? We got my Primaris Intercessors and my Primaris Assault Intercessors, which are now useful again, right? And potentially useful as Death Watch as well. Because now with the chapter tactics thingamajiggy, basically that means that I can give them like whatever sort of traits would actually fit for the Death Watch. And like I had said before, basically with the whatever the hell marksman thing. That's basically to represent the bolter, the special issue ammunition. Because obviously it only works on the bolt weapons. And the idea is that whatever alien threat or whatever threat they're facing, they will always be potentially effective against that particular race or faction, right? So that's my reasoning behind that. Come on, this laptop is slow as crap, by the way. Yeah, so if you combine that then with a Stalker bolt rifle, with the scope which gives it lethal 5 up, and also the ammunition which gives it a +1 to both its damage types, you've basically got it's going to be yes, that's right. It's going to be a Stalker bolt rifle with 4/4, mortal wounds 1, and lethal 5+. I think that's all, right? A little bit better, just a teeny weeny bit better than the one that the Phobos guys get. Now, I could be completely wrong with that, but I'm just going to quickly double check. Because I really didn't rate this, their, yeah, the friggin' long ass name, that's how I remember. Stalker something, blah blah blah. Stalker Marksman Bolt Carbine. Yes, yes. AP1 lethal 5+. But in this case, like I say, you get damage 4/4 rather than 3/4. And you've also got mortal wounds 1. Yeah, granted, you don't hit on the 2+ that the Stalker Marksman Bolt Carbine does. Plus, you can't track target. But hey, I mean, that's all you're losing out on, really. And obviously, rolling higher than 2 is going to be better for you anyway. In fact, getting 5 would be pretty good. So, yeah, that's, yeah. So, but, of course, as we can see from these rules, that's putting 6 equipment points already into one guy. One guy who can't shoot from concealment like most snipers, and I'm probably going to lose every game before he even gets to fire off those juicy lethal 5 up, 4/4 mortal wounds 1 shots. It's for the lulz. It's just like, it is a gimmick model, really. If I ever take him, that's what I'm going with. I'm going to just whack 6 equipment points into him and just see how long he lasts, you know. I mean, sometimes you don't have to play to win, people, you know. Sometimes you can just play for fun. Crazy, I know. So, anyway. Oh, this is great. Trying to read this fucking PDF on my laptop. I'm really loving this. So anyway, while we wait for me to move down the page, I'm going to say some more about the whole chapter tactics thing. Like I say, oh yeah, I mentioned this earlier because this is my the term pile of potential has been going around a lot lately, and this is my tiny pile of potential for the Space Marines. The bottom one there, that's actually the Dark Imperium box and all that stuff in there. So if I ever came around to making, well, I'm probably going to need that just for the regular bolt rifle intercessors, 4 of. Because right now, obviously, I've got like 20 models spread across here. There's rhyme to my read. There's method to my madness. Anyway, so yeah. Raining heavy here, by the way, and you can probably hear that now. We've had some nice storms. I'm loving it. Ah, excellent. We're actually on the chapter tactics page. So yeah, what other chapter tactics would I mix up with? Deadly Sharpshooter, by the way, is what I was trying to say earlier. Now, the best thing about this is, because I'm rarely going to be using a narrative data slate, and I'm just going to be using a roster, my roster is always going to be written with at least Sharpshooter in it, okay? Even without the cool sniping dude I mentioned earlier. That's just, the deadly Sharpshooter thing is just for the theme of Deathwatch, like I say, with better bolt weapons. Now, you could probably say that accurate would be better because it also applies to bolt weapons and grants no cover. But the thing is, not every enemy model is going to be in cover, but every enemy model is going to have wounds and potentially an armor save, which you want to maybe slip by with that little teeny bit of damage with the Mortal Wounds 1. That's just my way of looking at it. So which of these actually suit a Deathwatch? Let's actually go through them. Like I say, this isn't actually meant to be a tactical breakdown of the kill team, but I want to actually sort of get my thoughts out there about these chapter tactics, because the fact that we've even got them is friggin', I love it. Like, this is as close as we're getting to sub-faction rules since the game dropped, and it's actually built into the makeup of a kill team. I really don't know how they're going to handle the whole sub-factions thing later down the line because of how this is written, you know what I mean? So, Anastasia, I don't know. I can't even speculate, and the implications are worrying, to say the least. Anyway, so let's look at the martial zealotry traits. You got aggressive. Each time this operative fights in combat in an activation in which it performed a charge action, its melee weapons gain the rending critical hit rule for that combat. Well, considering the fact that adaptive tactics is a thing, I can, you know, if I happen to settle on 2 traits and I'm like, oh, well, obviously I need to use a more melee focus in this game, then I switch out whatever other one for aggressive. And that's it. There you go. Rending attacks. I'm trying to think what I'd use that against. I don't know. But obviously I'd use it if I was using mostly melee guys, i.e. my Assault Intercessor Kill Team. Dueler. Each time this operative fights in combat, in a resolved successful hit step of that combat, each time it parries with a critical hit, you can select an additional normal hit of your opponents to be discarded. Against anything which has power weapons or power weapon equivalents, I would advise you to take this, because not only, I mean, you're basically parrying a potential 10 worth of damage against you, you know what I mean, at the very least. Which, I mean, these guys have 14 wounds, yes, but all it takes is the right number of failures on your side and successes on the other guy's side, and you're dead. So, rapid. Add 1 to this operative's movement characteristic. This is going to be good for all types of guys, really. Basically, just being able to move that 1 extra inch might not seem like a lot, but not only does it add to your movement if in a normal case of a normal move, but it will also add to your charge. So you're charging 9 inches, right? So that's good. Remember, it's not going to add to your dash. Tactical evasion. So you got Raider. This operative can perform the charge action while within engagement range of an enemy operative. In addition, each time this operative performs a normal move action, it can move within engagement range of an enemy operative, but cannot finish its move there. So basically that's just a simple case of you're never really locked in combat. I mean, like, you could, you know, if you've got yourself into a combat with some, let's say someone's charged one of your guys, hoping to lock him up to save another model, you could then on your turning, on your activation, instead of being like, oh, well, I'm going to fight you, or fall back and shoot or whatever, you'd be like, no, I'm just going to go and charge that guy that I was going to charge in the first place. See ya. And that's it. So, I mean, I suppose there's more applications than just that one, which I just pulled out of my butthole just then. So, stealthy. Each time a shooting attack is made against this operative in the roll defense dice step of that shooting attack, before rolling your defense dice, if it's in cover and more than 6 inches from the active operative, you can do one of the following. All that to get to this. Retain 1 additional dice as a successful normal save as a result of cover. Retain 1 dice as a successful critical save instead of a normal save as a result of cover. Such a common ability, I don't even know why I read it, but I did. There you go. Mobile. This operative can perform the fallback action for 1 less action point to a minimum of 1 AP. Now, the fact that Space Marines are free AP operatives anyway, this is so friggin' handy on them. Like, so obviously you're able to fall back, and you can shoot twice. Fall back and shoot twice. Wow, that's not bad now that I think about it. So, I mean, I'm sure there's, again, other things you could use that for. Even like just, can you charge after you've fallen back? I don't think you can. Pretty sure you can't. Let's have a look. I can't bother. Anyway, so yeah, fell back. Well, anyway, so gene-wrought resilience. Unyielding. Add 1 to this operative's wounds characteristic. Pretty self-explanatory. I suppose I should actually also be talking about how I'd actually apply these in my thing. Fluff-wise, these are the ones I feel like are probably the hardest to actually sort of justify being spread across a kill team. Like, any of the martial zealotry or tactical evasion ones I can see as them picking this particular kill team from very similar chapters. And I suppose the same could be said for, well, any of the different categories. But this one, I just feel it's like, okay, so you just, I don't know. I don't see that many chapters having gene-wrought resilience to the point where a whole bunch of them would be collected and killed. Maybe I could be wrong there. But anyway, durable. Critical hits inflict 1 less damage on this operative. Again, pretty self-explanatory. Hardy. Each time a shooting attack is made against this operative, in the roll defense dice step of that shooting attack, retained defense dice results of 5+ are critical saves instead of just 6. Okay, cool. I want to actually say, just as a side note, that if I was to ever run Intercession squads as the Exorcist chapter, which is what I'm going to be painting my Phobos guys up as, then I would definitely take durable and hardy. Unyielding is nice. You look at that 1 extra wound, but they've got 14 wounds by default. I struggle to see why I'd need 15, especially if I'm able to inflict 1 less damage, as well as against shooting attacks, basically, be able to crit save a lot easier as well. But anyway, moving on. So, and then we finally come to Discipline of Iron, where you got accurate. Each time this operative makes a shooting attack with a bolt weapon in the roll attack dice step of that shooting attack, if you retain any critical hits, that weapon gains the no cover special rule for that shooting attack. And I was already saying about how I wouldn't take this as my default for my Deathwatch guys because it just doesn't seem like universally useful. I'd probably take it in addition to something. In fact, I might even make the against certain kill teams, this would be what I'd take without question. Like Gene Stealer Cult, for example, or Wormblade, more specifically. Then you got Methodical. You can ignore any or all modifiers to the ballistic skill and weapon skill characteristics of this operative's weapons. It just sounds like such a auto take, doesn't it? You know what I mean? Just like there's no modifiers, and I assume that includes from being injured, right? So why wouldn't you take this? Why wouldn't you take this? Because it's such an auto take. That's why I'm not going to take it. That's exactly why I'm probably going to have that on the back burner for if I really, really feel desperate enough to take it. Because it's just too good. I mean, maybe it's not as good as I think, but it just seems too good to me, you know what I mean? And then, we come back to Deadly Sharpshooter, which is, of course, what my whole shebang's going to be revolving around. Do I need to read it again, even though I've been talking about it for the past half an hour, probably? For the bolt weapon, this operative is equipped with subtract 1 from its critical damage characteristic. It gains the Mortal Wounds 1 critical hit rule. Are we following this? Yeah? Do we know what it does? Yeah? I'm sure we do. Yeah, so, like I say, that's going to be my default first one of the two that I have for my chapter tactic. So I'm wondering what I should actually have as a default second. Maybe it should actually be that... thing's not scrolling anymore. That thing which I said earlier that I wasn't going to take as a default. You know the one I'm talking about. I can't remember the name of it. My laptop's just being an asshole right now, so it's just... Right. Okay. Anyway, you know the one. The no cover thing. Because I guess it just makes sense, just combining those two bolt weapon-centric traits for the Deathwatch, because their whole thing is the special issue ammunition. And yeah, you know what? Yeah, you know what? That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. Those two traits, the ones that revolve around bolt weapons, that's what my Deathwatch are going to be using as their chapter tactic. So I've decided, people. You've seen it live, or recorded at least. Yeah. So yeah. Now here's the thing. As adults, we are supposed to take responsibility for our actions and be held accountable. But no, I'm going to completely blame Games Workshop for distracting me from the Wormblade that I was actually quite happily, slowly but surely, building up just for the sake of having a kill team that's not for an event, just one that I like the theme and fluff of, and, you know, was actually a bespoke version of one of the factions I like. In this case, obviously, Gene Stealer Cultist. But this has distracted me, guys. Games Workshop have done it bad. I can't believe it. I can't believe they released potentially good Death Watch rules in my time of wanting to focus on something else. Yeah. Maybe, just maybe, I'll be able to resist starting up. They're sitting there. You know I'm going to be working on these fucking things within the next, whenever I have time and effort, and want to sit there and do a bunch of kit bashes. I mean, I've got like a Death Watch veterans box, right? And I've already got the sprue out with the chapter shoulder pads on it. Well, some of them are there, and a lot of them are clipped off. And I'm just gonna be like, because decals are a fucking pain to work with. I mean, like, whenever I was doing my exorcists, I did that one chapter icon using the actual tutorial from that particular White Dwarf where they gave him the index to starters, and it, like, the skull's got like a big friggin' like, because obviously it doesn't sit flush. And I looked at Sonic Sledgehammer. You should go and check him out, by the way. He's pretty good with hobby. Like, I checked out his tutorial and how to actually get decals to, you know, be smooth and look awesome. And it was like fucking witchcraft, man. Like, plus I got to order stuff for that particular method, and it just looks like so much work. And I'm just like, it takes me just to clean a model. You want me to do that as well? Oh man. So that's why I wanted Marines to be easy, and like, obviously with Phobos, you don't get a unless you're someone who's not as pedantic as I am, you don't really get a upgrade sprue shoulder pad for their left shoulder in order to actually just have a molded on chapter icon. Which is why I was looking more towards Intercessors the other day. It's funny, like literally yesterday, I was thinking to myself, I haven't played Kill Team outside of an event for ages, and I wanted to just like knock up a Space Marine Kill Team and just like play it. But I thought, well, Space Marines are crap. I'm gonna be playing and losing all the time, and that's probably just gonna make me not want to even play anymore. And then like the next day, this comes out. It's like my thoughts traveled through just the ether, and just like Games Workshop were like, hey, let's please Richard. They're also distracting from his Wormblade and just release these Intercessor rules. Okay, obviously the heat's getting to me, and I'm just babbling about a bunch of bullshit. I would have sit here doing like my channel intro video topless because it's that fucking muggy, but you guys don't need to see that. Anyway, I've rabbled it on enough. You've heard my roster. You've heard my little like off the cuff thoughts on the chapter tactics. I mean, like, there is so much stuff here still that I haven't even gone into, like the different profiles for the different operative, the different tac ops, the different. But you know, like I say, this isn't about that. This is a roster video for you guys who like rosters to come and be like, hey, what would be the best way to get 20 operatives in this new awesome Intercession Squad Kill Team? Oh, I know, I'll just click on Jubilant Richard's video and maybe he can tell me. And then you'll be happier because I told you. Yeah, anyway, so please like, please subscribe, please recommend me to your friends. I'm very surprised that this video is also hitting 40 minutes, by the way. I don't know how I did that. Recommend me to your friends. Ring the bell. And bear in mind that I hadn't been making videos because I wanted to actually get onto a more professional level. But there was no way that this stuff was coming out and I wasn't going to talk about it because it's Marines, man. The Marines are the poster boys of the game. And despite them being shoved into the, like, the shit pile for so long in this game. They're coming back, guys. Now Games Workshop only loves Space Marines and Kill Team again. I'm sure the cries will go out. They won't though. We haven't even seen these guys in the game yet, alright? I don't think that these are going to be beating any of the top tier tables. I'm rabbiting again. I'm sorry. Right. Subscribe, like, ring the bell, etc, etc. I always do this. Is it my thing? Is it my shtick? But please, enjoy, or I hope you enjoyed. Have a pleasant evening. And please, stay hydrated, people. Obviously, I didn't. Because that's why you got this feverish crap coming out of my mouth right now. So yeah, stay hydrated. Get out in there in the rain. If you got it right now, get out in it. Just get out in it. Just do fucking Shawshank Redemption shit, right? Just get out there. Like, subscribe, recommend me to your friends. I love you all. Thank you. Goodbye. Have a pleasant evening.